Barron Trump sat in the shadows of the grand ballroom, a quiet observer in a world that thrived on spectacle. His tall frame and piercing blue eyes made him impossible to ignore, yet he remained unnoticed, content to watch rather than be watched. Around him, the luxury hotel glittered with wealth and power. Crystal chandeliers dripped from the ceiling, casting a golden glow over the city's most influential figures. The air buzzed with laughter, whispered deals, and the delicate clink of champagne glasses. This was no ordinary night. It was a gathering of elites, business moguls, celebrities, journalists, all here for a cause, but also for something more: influence, reputation, the quiet battles fought with charm and carefully chosen words. Barron wasn't here to play the game. A family friend had invited him, hoping he'd get a glimpse of how this world operated. But before the night was over, the game would change. A single moment, a single remark would turn the room silent, and Barron Trump, the one person no one expected to speak, would leave them all speechless. For most of the evening, Barron remained quiet, nodding politely when spoken to, his focus on the purpose of the event rather than the spectacle around him. The atmosphere buzzed with energy. A string quartet played softly in the corner. Conversations and laughter filled the space, yet a growing sense of anticipation hung in the air. The keynote speaker, a celebrated journalist known for their sharp wit and fiery opinions, was about to take the stage. Guests whispered among themselves, speculating about the speech to come. Finally, the moment arrived. The MC stepped up to the podium, thanking everyone for their generosity before introducing the journalist. Polite but eager applause filled the room as the speaker strode confidently onto the stage, their black suit crisp, their smile brimming with charisma. They opened with humor, joking about the city's traffic and recounting an amusing story about a past Gala mishap. The crowd chuckled, momentarily at ease. But then the tone shifted. The journalist moved from light-hearted anecdotes to sharp commentary, poking fun at well-known politicians and their public blunders. The laughter was lively at first, though some guests shifted in their seats as the jabs became more pointed. Then the inevitable happened. The journalist turned their attention to Donald Trump. "Well," they began, a smirk playing on their lips, "we can't talk about the state of the world without mentioning the man who made orange the new black." A ripple of laughter spread through the room, some genuine, some nervous. "Love him or hate him," the journalist continued, "you have to admit, he's the gift that keeps on giving, at least for people like me." This time, the laughter wasn't as loud. Some guests chuckled hesitantly, others remained silent, exchanging glances. At his table, Barron showed no reaction. His face was unreadable, his posture perfectly still. But the journalist wasn't finished. Their jokes about Donald Trump grew sharper, touching on his policies, his tweets, his public persona. Then, with a mischievous glint in their eye, they took it a step further. "And of course," they said, pausing for effect, "we can't forget his most overlooked legacy, the next generation. Imagine growing up in a golden tower surrounded by marble everything, while your dad tweets about world leaders. That must have been character building." The room froze. A collective gasp rippled through the crowd. All eyes turned to Barron. The joke fell flat. Nervous chuckles died into silence. The journalist smiled awkwardly, clearly unprepared for the reaction. Barron, however, didn't move. He didn't fidget or glance around. He remained composed, his expression calm and unwavering. The silence stretched, thick, uncomfortable. Even the journalist, so confident moments ago, seemed to falter. They shifted their weight, gripping the edge of the podium. "Tough crowd," they muttered, forcing a chuckle. Then Barron stood. The soft scrape of his chair against the floor echoed in the stillness. At over 6 feet tall, he cut an imposing figure. The entire room watched, holding its breath, as he adjusted his suit jacket with slow, deliberate movements and walked toward the stage. The journalist froze. Their earlier bravado faded. Barron stopped at the edge of the stage and looked directly at them. His gaze steady, unreadable. The tension was palpable. Then, in a measured voice, he spoke. "Thank you for your insight," he said. The journalist blinked, caught off guard. Barron's tone wasn't angry or defensive, it was calm, almost thoughtful. "I've grown up watching people make assumptions about me, my family, and my life," he continued. "It's almost become a game, filling in the blanks when you don't know the whole story. And I get it. We're public figures. It comes with the territory." The audience was silent, hanging on his every word. Even those who had laughed earlier now sat frozen, captivated by his composure. "But," Barron said, his voice firm, behind every headline, every punchline, "there's someone with their own struggles, their own dreams, their own story. You may think you know me because of who my father is, but you don't." "Not really." The journalist swallowed hard. Their confidence had completely vanished. Barron wasn't attacking them. He was simply holding up a mirror, forcing them to see the weight of their words. "What I've learned," he continued, now addressing the entire room, "is that respect shouldn't have to be earned. It should be given freely, especially when you don't know someone's full story." A murmur ran through the crowd, but no one interrupted. "We live in a time where it's easy to tear each other down," Barron said. "Words have power. They can hurt or heal. They can divide or unite. And I think we could all use more of the latter." The room was spellbound. His words weren't just a response to the journalist. They were a call for something greater, a reminder of our shared humanity. Turning back to the journalist, he added softly, "I hope this gives you something to think about." There was no malice in his voice, only quiet strength. Then, without another word, he walked back to his seat. The applause started hesitantly, one person clapping at the front, but it grew, louder, stronger, until the entire ballroom erupted into a standing ovation. Guests cheered, some even wiping away tears. Back at his table, Barron didn't bask in the applause. He simply nodded politely, his composure unshaken. By the next morning, the story was everywhere. Snippets of Barron's speech had been recorded and flooded social media. Clips of his poised, mature response went viral, with captions praising his grace and wisdom. "Barron Trump just taught us all a lesson in class and respect," one viral tweet read. Another called it the most mature response we've seen in years. The journalist later issued an apology, admitting their joke had crossed a line. But the real impact wasn't in the apology, it was in the conversation Barron had sparked. A conversation about respect, empathy, and the power of choosing kindness, even in the face of provocation. For Barron, life went on as usual. He returned to his studies, staying out of the spotlight. But his actions that night left an unforgettable mark, a reminder to the world that dignity and compassion are always worth choosing. This story serves as a powerful reminder of the strength found in composure, the importance of respect, and the lasting impact of words. Barron Trump's response wasn't about anger or retaliation. It was about grace, wisdom, and quiet confidence. His ability to turn an uncomfortable moment into a lesson on empathy and understanding shows that true power doesn't come from reacting impulsively, but from choosing dignity over division. It reminds us that behind every name and headline is a person with their own story, struggles, and dreams. What do you take away from this story? Did Barron's response inspire you? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Your words might inspire someone else to see things differently. And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more powerful narratives that reveal unexpected moments of connection, growth, and insight. See you in the next one.